Hey, I'm right back with another video. Let me see what time it is. I know it's, it's Wednesday, 12:49 p.m. And I am taking a break from my job search right now. I will say that I did send off some resumes, and I'm a little tired, but I've committed myself to doing this, to a certain time each day. I just keep everything moving. I'm just trying really hard to get the motivation. Right now, I am pretty motivated. I mean, I'm just kind of slowly but surely trying to get into the proper mindset, and it takes a while. It really does. I think, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't going to talk about companies that basically got involved with this ridiculous nightmare. And I don't see any point in mentioning them. And I also don't really see any point in me mentioning anything relating to my families either. And because I feel as though I've made it very clear, and hopefully I've helped, separate the, truth from the bullshit, So I don't really see any point in talking about it anymore. As for, I think the last video I did, I basically was talking about the inconsistencies relating to Joel's family, and I think that should be done too. I mean, I'm done talking about them. In my mind, they don't even exist anymore, and there is no, I don't feel anything. Like, I was thinking last night, though, I will say this. I was thinking last night that I don't feel anything towards Joel. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of afraid of him at this point, only because I do think of him kind of as I don't want to say demon, but I don't think that he has the proper mind that functions properly due to, I would call it programming. He was programmed to be the way that he is. So, yeah, so I'm moving on, I'm severing ties with everybody, and I'm just trying to pick myself back up. So, I think there's some people that might be a little afraid to talk to me, and I just think the best thing to do is just to keep it moving. You know what I mean? It doesn't do any good to be afraid of me. I'm not going to sit here and bite or go off on anything. My goal is to act as if this whole thing never happened. You know what I mean? To be able to communicate with people as if it just never happened. Because it's something that really, I don't think it should be forgotten. I mean, I certainly won't forget it. But I do think that people should learn from this situation. And, hopefully the next time, a family member or somebody who's on the outside tries to manipulate a person's employment, they need to recognize that as a sign, or a possible sign, okay? A possible sign of some form of domestic abuse, some form of human trafficking, and look at that for what it is, because it's very important that people stay out of that, unless, of course, it's done directly, with the applicant or the candidate knowing about it, okay? Like, for example, let's just say, for example, I had an Aunt Matilda. I'm just going to call her Matilda. Why? I don't know, but whatever. And Aunt Matilda wants me to work at, company ABC. And there's nothing wrong with her calling a company and saying, I have my niece wants to work at this company, and she gives the name of the person she talks to the person in HR or whatever, and then they talk about it, and they want to bring me in, and they let me know that she referred me, or she directly tells me, then there's nothing wrong with that. When you do things behind the scenes, that's when it becomes a problem, okay? Obviously, that's a sign of somebody trying to manipulate somebody's life, okay? And everything should be, done directly. So that is one of the biggest issues, human trafficking, today, as well as gang stalking. And I personally think a lot of it has to do with the whole, they're definitely combined in some ways, okay? Because obviously, if you have other people participating in it, it's a part of some sort of conspiracy to direct or lead a person, and some people are getting involved in things that they don't fully understand. They think, oh, well, I want to keep this couple together or whatever, and, that's all very sweet and everything, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So it's better for people to stay out of family matters, and that's the only thing that really needs to be remembered in this situation. I'm not going to bite anybody's head off. I'm not going to bring up the subject in front of their face, unless, of course, it does relate to my protection. Like, for example, I'm working for an employer, and I will say, please, I don't want anybody inquiring about me at the workplace, and let them know that, I've been stalked. I had a stalker or whatever. But as far as me bringing up names, talking about people, the whole issue, I'm not going to do that, okay? I mean, I am a person who has a responsibility to myself to keep going. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to do me or anybody else any good to continue this going on, going forward. So, and I was thinking today, I'm not too picky about the kind of work that I do. I do want it to be sort of, obviously I have skills and I need to use them, okay? That's the only thing that I know how to do. I'm not sitting here saying that I have to be in a manager's position. I'm not saying that, okay? But I have to do something that relates to my skills so I could continue building up, because otherwise somebody in my age group going into the job market on an entry-level position, it's going to take me a very long time to be able to have some sort of stability, okay? And that's what needs to be thought about when this sort of stuff happens. And that was my biggest issue. Why are you trying to boot me out of something that I know how to do? I'm not sure if I don't want to mention my family, my blood relations, or his family. And I refer to them as his family because they're not mine through blood or anything else. Some people say, through marriage. I don't know these people, okay? There's a lot of people who have relatives who don't know each other, okay? And that's the situation with me. I don't know these people, not really. And certainly sure as hell would never give them any authorization to do anything for me or make any decisions. And even though I was married to Joel, I would never, ever think that he had any right to make any decisions for me, especially since he never took on a real role as a life partner. So obviously there's some sort of weird need to control on his part. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? I don't want to venture into that conversation anymore because it's not productive. But I'm taking a break from my work search right now, and I need to pick up the speed because it's not because I feel like I'm going to get anything done immediately. It's just that, this whole thing has been dragging on for a very long time. And I just want to move on from it. It was a nightmare, a very long nightmare, long drawn out nightmare that lasted a long time. And I still don't fully get it. I understand that I got these weird psychotic people who came together, I believe on Facebook or something, and had an issue with me. Instead of talking the issue directly to me, they decided to start bringing this into the employment sector. That's pretty much all I know, okay? And then the whole issue, the Facebook, and then me lying to my husband, everything. I'm going to tell you what, whatever you guys think, it's probably bullshit. It probably is bullshit, okay? Because I don't talk to most people. Okay, and then obviously if you're talking with people who, like, for example, perps or whatever, sometimes they put words in your mouth, or they're basing it on preconceived ideas. And I'll tell you what, there's not really any reason to have any preconceived ideas about a person that goes to work every day and comes home, okay? So I get a little irritated with that, I don't know any of those people. So, and that, I think a lot of times when you don't know people, fill in the blanks. But I'm not, it's funny, I'm not the kind of person that does that. Like, the kind of gossip that most people get involved in, I don't want anything to do with. I really have, like, for example, I have neighbors here, okay? I wish them all well. I don't know them personally. I see them when I go outside. If they're looking in my direction, I say hi or whatever. But it doesn't interest me to know about them, unless, of course, we engage in some sort of conversation and then we develop a relationship. But I'm not nosy, okay? I'm really not. I'm not nosy, okay? When I was younger, I did have an interest in certain people, you know what I mean, that kind of intrigued me, and then I wanted to, but I kind of outgrew that, I don't take an interest in knowing other people, and I don't gossip about other people. Actually, my relationships which I would say I don't really know anyone anymore, but the person, like for example, the person I communicate with almost on a daily basis, our relationship is, I like the structure of it, and it's too bad that she doesn't live closer, because what I look for in a relationship, a friendship, okay, is somebody who, you know, enjoys doing certain hobbies together, somebody who can bounce ideas off each other, something that's constructive. Okay, I don't waste my time tearing other people down or making up stories. I don't, okay? So that's actually good. It's a very good thing that I have about me, that I have to say, compared to a lot of women. Now, I'm not saying men don't gossip, because they do, okay? But women, I know a lot of their relationships are based on basically stabbing other people in the back. They thrive on that stuff. And it's sad, but it's true. And I think, you know, maybe it's because people really never develop themselves. You know, they haven't developed personality and confidence within themselves, so they have to bash other people. I'm not into that, not at all. You know, I tend to gravitate towards people who are confident and who enjoy, you know, similar things that I do. You know what I mean? Like, I like music. I like, just because I like art doesn't mean I'm an artist, okay? I'm not an artist, okay? But I do have an artistic flair, okay? And I do enjoy that. You know, I like talking about businesses. I like talking about history. I like talking about, I don't know, phenomenons. You know, just, I don't know. I have a very wide range of interest, you know, and so that's it. You know what I mean? If that lady lived over here, which I wish she did, you know, then I would probably have someone to spend time with, you know, someone I could, like, you know, invite over for dinner and talk for long hours, you know, hang out, you know, and kind of do things that I like to do, you know. And it's unfortunate because I know most relationships, most people don't have those kind of friendships anymore. I mean, it's kind of like people don't really deal with each other in person, you know. But like I said, you know, I'm very old-fashioned. You know, I like things the way they used to be, you know. And I'm not exactly too keen on how the world is, you know, how they, everything's online, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I have mixed feelings about Facebook. I see good in it, but then, you know, what happened to me on Facebook kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, okay? Because, you know, gossip, and then, you know, people can get together and they can conspire against you based off of a picture, you know, and then throwing in some bullshit on top of it, and there you go. You know, it's a good way to keep in touch with people. It's also a good way to meet other people who share your interests. Unfortunately, I would say about my Facebook, you know, I got on Facebook mainly to deal with the issue of targeted individuals, okay? And like everything else, you know, everybody turns whatever into something else. Like, you know, I try to keep topics relating to, I prefer to communicate with people based on topics that I'm wanting to talk about, you know, and unfortunately the conversations get misdirected or whatever, so I kind of get burnt out on Facebook at times, you know. It's not that I don't appreciate the contacts, because I do. It's just that, you know, I'm more structured, okay, and like if I'm on there for a particular reason, I want to be talking about the issues, you know, and I do think that this issue of being a targeted individual, gang stalking, human trafficking, these sort of issues are extremely important. You know what I mean? And you want to talk to the right people about these issues. And sadly, you know, you basically state this is what I'm interested in about, and people want to talk about something else, okay? It's very hard to get together a group of people that are very focused. That is the truth, okay? No matter where you are. I've seen it in a lot of situations. Like, you'll go to a particular meeting, and you're talking about, it's supposed to be about one thing, and then all of a sudden they start talking about something else, and it's like, okay, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for this, you know. So it's hard to find focused people, and that's quite disappointing, I must say, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little burnt out on Facebook, you know. And I'm every day I'm thinking, okay, is there any benefit to this at all. I don't see too much of it, really. But, you know, I do appreciate, I'm interested in talking to targeted individuals who really do want to do something, who really want to make a change and bring about awareness, you know what I mean? And it is important. It's important because there's so many people out there that don't know what they're getting involved in. Like, you know, when it comes to neighborhood watches and stuff like that, it's one thing to make sure that your neighbor's house doesn't get robbed if they go away on vacation, but sometimes people use their ability to watch other people in a bad way, you know, and even though they don't realize what they're doing, it could be illegal. And it could be in violation against people's rights. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I'm trying to get people to understand these social issues because it's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people, okay? And a lot of lives are at stake. And so, you know, if you're focused, you know, drop me an email. If you're kind of like all over the place, you know, take it somewhere else. That's basically all I'm saying. Because that's when I get online for certain reasons, I'm on there for a particular reason, you know. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I should be making some lunch. All I had today was like, you know, I woke up this morning and had a small thing to eat, and now it's like, what, getting past lunchtime's almost over. I might whip up something really quick in the oven, in the kitchen, make something really quick, and then get back to it. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will be back with another video later. Bye-bye.